If you were looking to get your first pull-up, then you were in the right spot, because today I'm going to give you a step-by-step progression guide on different exercises that you can do to build up to your first pull-up. I'm not saying that this is going to happen overnight. You may spend a week, a couple weeks, or even a month at each progression, but if you're serious about getting your first pull-up, this is exactly how you're going to do it. Let's hop into our first progression. So the first thing that we need to learn is how to retract your scapula, and this is one of the most foundational places that you need to start. And it sounds so silly, but if you don't know how to effectively retract your scapula, you're just going to pull with your traps, with your biceps, with your shoulders, and your lats are never going to get stronger. So even if you can do a full pull-up, but it's not like a full rep, or even if you can kind of kick yourself up there, you still need to learn how to retract your scapula. So this is the concept of taking one step back so you can take 5 steps forward. So I always teach this on the lat pull down first. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your arms nice and straight. You're going to flex your triceps, keep your arms locked out, and you're just going to retract your scapula. So you're just pulling your shoulders down. You're not bending in your elbows. You're not using your biceps. It's a very small range of motion, but you're just learning how your scapula retracts. And this is going to be one of those light bulb moments that is going to help you effectively use your lat muscles. Once you start to get this down, you can start to do a couple lat pull downs, and each rep you're focused on retracting your scapula, driving your elbows down. And then eventually what you're going to do is, once you get this concept down, is you're going to go over to the pull-up bar and start to practice retracting your scapula with your body weight. So one common fault that I see people do is they'll bend from their elbows and use their biceps a little bit. Keep your arms completely locked out. Just retract your scapula as far as you can and start to do this for sets. What I would start to do is I would start to do this for 3 to 4 sets of anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. And the more practice you get, the more time you spend on the pull-up bar doing this or on the lat pull-down doing this, it is going to help tremendously and is going to be the first step in getting your first pull-up. So once we start to understand how to retract your scapula on any pulling motion that you're doing, you're going to be practicing that every rep. Set your shoulder blade back, drive your elbow back, and focus on just using your lats. And what you might start to realize is that your lats are more sore than they've ever been, and this is exactly what we want. That means that we're effectively targeting those muscles, because before this, you may have just been using your biceps and your traps and momentum in your shoulder for any sort of pulling motion, and your lats are not effectively getting worked. So once we pass step number 1, where you fully understand how to retract your scapula, especially on a pull-up bar, we're going to move into our step number 2, which is doing eccentric pull-ups. And this is taking the advantage of being stronger in the eccentric phase of any lift, to where you're going to take a box or a bench, you're going to kick yourself up to the top of the pull-up bar, keeping your shoulder blades down. You're going to work through a full range of motion, nice and slow as you can, all the way down to a dead hang. And that is one of the biggest faults that I see people do when they do eccentric pull-ups, is that they'll only go halfway, or they'll just let themselves fall. But if you think about it, the very start of every pull-up is the very end of an eccentric pull-up. So we want to strengthen our lats through a full range of motion, and how you're going to do that is by doing a full range eccentric. Now, one common fault, again, is to just use your biceps to hold yourself up, or your shoulders are shrugged up in the ear. Make sure that you are using just your lats, your shoulders are retracted, and you're just letting yourself down nice and slow. And that is what's going to help you target your lats. It's going to help you strengthen your lats, and it's going to prepare us for step number 3. Now, like I said earlier in the video, it may take a couple workouts, a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months to progress through each of these steps. But as long as you stay consistent and you're trying to just do a little bit more than you did last time, that is what's going to help you take the next step from step 1, step 2, and then is going to help you take you into step number 3. And in our third step, what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to do 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 reps. And typically how I'll teach this is from the top down. So it's going to build off the eccentric chin-up or the eccentric pull-up. You're going to kick yourself up to the top. You're going to let yourself down 1/4 of the way, and then you're going to pull yourself back up. So that would be a 1/4 rep. This is a great way that you can start to actually do a concentric with that pull-up, and is a great way that you can build into eventually doing 1/2, 3/4, and eventually a full pull-up. So if these eccentric pull-ups are getting easy, try the 1/4 rep. What I would try to do is I would try to do anywhere from sets of 3 to 5, where you're doing really good reps and you're just using your lats. So you're going to kick yourself up to the pull-up bar, let yourself down 1/4 of the way. Once you get good at those, you're going to let yourself down halfway and pull yourself back up. Once you start to get good at those, you're going to let yourself down 3/4 of the way and pull yourself back up. Now, if you can start to get sets of 3 to 5 3/4 reps, you can do your first pull-up. But one problem where a lot of people get stuck after they get their first pull-up is they don't know how to get a couple more pull-ups. So in the next step, I'm going to show you how you can actually build strength and start to really string pull-ups along together. So after you're doing your full 3/4 reps, then you're going to go into heavy weighted eccentric pull-ups. You can do this through a belt. You can do this through a weight vest. You can hold a dumbbell between your feet. But what you're going to do is you're going to start to load the eccentric pull-up like we did in the beginning, where you kick yourself to the top, work slow, slow, slow all the way down, just using your lats. But you're going to add an extra 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds and start to string this along for reps. And once you can do this for 3 sets of 5 to 6 reps, you are definitely going to be able to do your first pull-up. You have all the tools that you need. You can do scapular retractions to initially set your shoulder blades. You have the strength to pull yourself up from the 3/4 of the rep. And you're also more than likely going to start to build strength through these eccentrics to where eventually you're going to be able to string 1 pull-up, 2 pull-ups, 3 pull-ups along together. And it's going to help you to be able to actually do sets of pull-ups instead of just being able to do 1 pull-up. Now, once you start to get to 1 pull-up, and you're like, Jordan, how do I get to more pull-ups? What I would start to do is I would treat it in a 1-1-1+ situation. So you're like, what the heck does that mean? If you're going to do 3 sets of pull-ups, first set, you're going to do 1 rep. Make sure it's really good. Take a minute, minute and a half rest. Second set, you're going to do another rep. 1 really good rep. Take a minute, minute and a half rest. On the third set, you're going to do a 1+, meaning that you are going to do 1 minimum, and if you can get a second or a third, you're going to go to failure on that last set. What we don't want to do is we don't want to go to failure on your first set because it's going to mess up the next couple sets and you're never going to make any progress. So one huge area of opportunity is make sure that you do not go to failure on your first set of pull-ups. A lot of times people get excited when they're able to crank out pull-ups and they go to failure on their first set and then they don't have any endurance or any strength left for their second or their third set. And that accumulation of volume is what's going to help you build strength and start to string out more than just 1 rep in a row. So say, for example, that you get 1, 1, 1. Next time you would come back and you would try and go 1, 1, 2. And only until you get that second rep will you increase another rep. So say, for example, you get 1, 1, and then you get 2 on your 1+. The next time you would come back and try and go 2, 2, 2+. And then say you only get 2, 2, 2. You would wait until you can get 3 reps in a row to increase it to 3, 3, 3+, and so on and so forth. Now, I know that was a lot of information that I just threw at you, and if you're still following along, this is exactly how you're going to start to string out your pull-ups. It's a very slow and drawn-out process. I'm not saying that you're going to watch this video and tomorrow you're going to be able to do pull-ups. That's definitely not the case. But if you stick with the slow progression and you have that mentality that you're trying to get 1% better every single time you step foot in the gym, I promise you that you're going to start to be able to hit pull-ups. You're going to start to be able to string it along for reps. And really, the sky's the limit. That's really why I love doing what I do. I love helping the clients that we train here at Fit Grind. You know, when we started this gym 3 years ago, me and my wife, we had a passion, and we still have this passion for helping people because it's amazing the things that you can accomplish if you just have that mindset that the sky is the limit and that every time you're just trying to beat your best. So I know that was a lot of information, but if you have comments, questions on pull-ups or anything related to fitness or nutrition, let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to help any way that I can. And if you found anything helpful in this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. I'm posting weekly fitness content here on YouTube, so if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and I'm going to leave a couple other videos to go watch on the screen here next. Make sure you check those out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.